G'day legends, and this is it, your definitive answer to the question, who is the better fighter? For the last year, this debate has plagued the internet as we, the MMA community, choose to go back and forth over who is the better fighter, who is the better mountain man, and who is the better fighter if you put both of them in a cliffside cave, rolled a stone in front of the entrance, and just like Jesus Christ himself, who would rise amongst us? That was just a little joke. Calm down. Right, let's settle this debate once and for all. Yes, I know Daniel Cormier might have already given his opinion. He's only, the light heavyweight champion and the simultaneous heavyweight champion of the world. If it wasn't for John Jones, he might go down as one of the greatest of all time. And yes, Khabib and Islam Makhachev themselves have both talked about this and given their opinion. And yes, Mighty Mouse, the king, lad, gamer, MMA GOAT of the world, he's given his 2 cents as well. But can you really say that you have heard the end of the debate until you have heard some barely literate drywaller's opinion from the bottom of the planet? No, you can't. But now, today, by the end of this video, you'll be able to say that yes, you can. Because never fear, you beautiful bastard, I'm going to share it with you right now. Both fighters came from the same mountain range, trained at the same school, which, let's face it, it's a little bit less of a school and more like a goddamn Spartan, Agogi style militaristic training camp, right? And that one is not a joke, it is legit harsh up there. As we know, Khabib was the first one through the gates because he was older, only by 2 or 3 years, but still, he was the older one. And on top of that, it was his father's training camp as well. So Khabib was the first one through the gates and entered the UFC at 15-0. People were already pretty excited to see what this kid could do. They knew that he was a dominant wrestler, and wrestle he did. He came in and he wrestled. And he wrestled and he wrestled. And guess what? He wrestled some more, until it became crazy clear that this guy was an unstoppable force in the division. And to me, it was that Edson Barboza fight, that Edson Barboza moment that really changed things. There was just this look of fear and drowning on Edson's face that seemed to be maintained throughout the course of the entire 15 minutes. And while this was happening, while Khabib was just drowning Edson Barboza in pure pressure, his little brother was also racking up some wins for himself. And by 2017, while the 3 years older Khabib would not have even lost a single round in the UFC, wouldn't have even been knocked down, not even cut open, his little brother Islam Makhachev by 2007 had already entered the UFC and been KO'd, right? And by a relative, still to this day, a bit of a nobody. Khabib would progress on, right? He would go ahead and win the title in 2018 using his striking against, yes, a 11th ranked real estate agent from New York, Al Iaquinta, but he still chose to stand up in that fight and go ahead and win it. And then he went on and defended his title against a very, very tough opponent in Dustin Poirier in 2019 and just absolutely smoked him. And it was during this time in 2019 where Islam Makhachev was still having close fights with contenders like Arman Tsarukyan. And this right here is why I wanted to focus in on it, because this seems to be the real crux of the issue that I have when people compare Khabib to Islam Makhachev. Khabib's entire career is full of quick, clean performances. His messiest performance ever was against Conor McGregor when he pretty much chose to play with his food and decided if he could embarrass McGregor and where McGregor is meant to be good in the stand-up. He knew that he had a wrestling advantage, but he ignored his father's plan throughout a lot of that fight and chose to just strike with him, chose to try and out-aura max Conor McGregor and take away his most dominant part, Conor's striking. Khabib was a GOAT, but he was very much like vanilla ice cream. He was one flavor, one plan. Whereas Islam Makhachev, he seems to be a more well-rounded guy. You look at Islam Makhachev and he has obviously got dominant wrestling. He has got brilliant striking, much cleaner striking than what Khabib seems to have. But you also look at Islam Makhachev fighting Charles Oliveira, fighting Dustin Poirier, fighting Alexander Volkanovski. He doesn't seem to be having the clean run-through sort of fights that Khabib was having. So when you have to ask yourself, who is the better fighter? it's very easy to look at Islam Makhachev with all of his fancy tricks and his fancy toolkit. He's clean Muay Thai up the middle. He's single leg takedowns. But when you really start to break down the details of his fight, he doesn't have as heavy top pressure as Khabib had. And to me, when you ask the question, who is the better fighter? To me, a fight is about putting the other guy out, putting him away, putting him to sleep, and not getting hit, not getting as damaged as much. We can talk about who has the better MMA skills, who has the better Muay Thai, who has the better double legs, the better single legs, who has the better arm bars, who has the better top controls. But really, who gives a fuck? This is a fight, man. I'm gonna beat you one way or another, and you're not gonna be able to touch me. So yeah, Islam Makhachev might have more tools and a deeper toolbox, but to me, Khabib is the guy that only needs one tool. Let's break the metaphor down like this, yeah? If you called someone in to do a job, to work on your house, to fix your car, to fix your kitchen, to fix your leaking toilet, whatever, one person rolls in with this massive toolbox and they get their tools all over the place and they get the job done and they get it done impressively. But there's mess everywhere. There's mud on the floor, there's mud on the walls, their tools are strewn out all over the room. Whereas the other guy comes in, he's only got one tool in his pocket and he just fucking slams that tool down, the job is done, and walks out of there. Which one do you reckon is doing a better job of it? Islam Makhachev might be rocking up to work these days with a deeper toolbox and a more impressive skill set. But to me, when I go back and look at their performances next to each other, Khabib just rocks up and gets the job done with one tool, cleaner, quicker, and better. The debate comes to an end over who is going to be the better fighter of all time, who is the one that is going to be known as the better, cleaner fighter. To me, Khabib Nurmagomedov, my God, what a name. How do we still not know how to pronounce that? To me, Khabib is still going to be the one that is going to go down as the GOAT. Islam's doing a great job. Maybe one day he can outshine Khabib, but right now, just because he's got more tools to look at, doesn't mean he's putting down more impressive performances. So that is it for this video. Let me know down there in the comments, who do you think is the better fighter, not who has the better MMA skill set? Bit of a trick question there. Put it down there in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We got something like less than 50 to go. So if you can hit that subscribe button, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, that would be bloody awesome. Also, I am going to be live streaming UFC. Oh my God, what time is it on? I might have to get up at an ungodly hour. I'm going to live stream UFC Saudi Arabia this weekend. So come and hang out with me for that one. Until then, I hope you all have a great day, great night, wherever you're from, and I'll see you all in the next video.